Howdy, hello everyone, I am Nathan Blake, and welcome to Monday. That's right, Monday once again rears its ugly head, and we all have to ask the question, are you willing to go back to work after your beautiful, wonderful weekend of not doing things, or maybe doing too many things, as a lot of times it actually is?
There will be some cool music that goes with this. It's not here yet, but it will be here soon.
Recently, I have been learning to code, and being able to code is something that I want to know how to do, and that I'm passionate about learning, and I suck at it so far. There's been a couple of moments where I've had one of those sort of aha sort of things, and my brother-in-law is a programmer, and he even said, after I solved an issue, he was like, good programming brain, right here, yeah, There's so much of it that's just so hard to learn, it's a different language, it really is, and if I was learning Spanish or something, I'm sure I would have just as many problems. I'd be banging my head against it saying, but I know how to talk, why can't I speak this language? And that's the same thing here, I know how to do a lot of things that run in some of the similar areas of programming, but programming itself is a different language, and so I'm having trouble doing it. But the cool part, and this is what this video is about motivation. The cool part is that because I've buckled down about my videos, that I'm doing them on a schedule now, I'm able to do them, and they're not near as stressful to me to do anymore, and I'm able to do other things with my free time now that I pretended I didn't have before. I acted as though I didn't have enough time to get videos done and do other things because it took me so long to get worked up to doing the video and doing the video and then editing it and stuff, and I would procrastinate little bits in between all of that. But now that I have a real schedule, there's not any procrastination anymore. It's just, okay, it's this time of day, I do the thing. It's this time of day, I do the thing. And that's actually really helped me create more time. That means I have more freedom. I know whenever I'm allowed to do other things versus when I'm not. And that's given me the opportunity to do programming. And it's something that I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to do, but it's hard, It's something that I'm having to learn, and I'm struggling against it, and it's really one of the hardest things that I've ever learned because in general, I haven't done too many things that were so impenetrable from the outside, Like either it was something that I felt like I could do and I did it, or it's something I'm like, nah, this doesn't look like my thing, and just stepped back. And this is something that I'm really okay, I could see how this could be my thing, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. I'm really going to have to break into it in order to do it. And it's hard, but it takes dedication, and it takes being motivated to actually do it. And I think that that's really important because we all have those things in our lives, those things that we want to do, that we wish we could do, but we make excuses by why it's impossible for us. A lot of times we'll say, well, I would love to do something like have a YouTube channel, or I'd love to write books, or I'd love to learn to cook, or whatever it is, but I don't have time. And that's our favorite excuse, is I don't have time. And I know there's a lot of you out there probably saying, Nathan, I really don't have time. I'm in graduate school and working a full-time job at the same time, or whatever. I would wager that the majority of people, and even some of those in a situation like what I just said, have more time for the things that they want to do than they are willing to admit. You can make time. We make time for things that we care about. I mostly care about people. And so it's hard for me to make time to do something like programming or something. But when I was able to associate it with people, when I was able to associate success at programming, meaning my brother-in-law being happy that he was able to help me with something and teach me something that could help me financially in the future, and whenever I was able to associate it with doing something that my wife would be able to rely on financially and things like that, that's when it helped me. So I had to associate it with something that was important to me. And now that it's important to me, I can make time for it, because we make time for what's important. And I know you're saying I don't really have time, but think about all the times throughout the day that you devote to watching a show or a YouTube video, or devote to playing a video game or something along those lines, or reading a book, or all of those things. Whenever you eat a long meal, whenever you could have just had something quick and even healthier probably. There are all of these different ways that we love to make excuses for ourselves and say, I don't have time. But at the end of the day, We did have time. We just procrastinated. When I got my schedule really down, it allowed me to really make times of day. This time of the day is for recording. This time of the day is for editing. In between is my lunch break, blah, blah, blah. It made it where procrastination was not as likely to happen because I didn't have all the time in the world. I knew how much time I had exactly. And so I just jumped in there. I said, this time to this time is recording. And so I do it. That's what I do. And that's gotten a little bit disheveled from learning coding. But if I wasn't as dedicated to it, I would have just dropped it and started learning coding, and then I would have had to make the decision of, okay, well, I'm not really interested in coding because it's really hard, so maybe I'll just go back to my channel because I'm not doing it, and it's really important. But because I was able to schedule it out, because I was able to make the schedule work for both, I don't have that excuse anymore. It's about working past your own excuses. So I just wanted to motivate you guys today because you can do it. You can work hard. You can prioritize, you can make time, you can schedule things out. And if you want to do something, you can do it. I don't know if you're going to be massively successful, but I tell you what, you'll never know if you're going to be successful if you don't try. The only way that you're going to completely fail is if you never even gave it a try. Because even if you do it and you fail, then you've learned something, and that means it wasn't a failure. It was just an attempt. It was a learning moment. It was a teaching moment. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys today, is that hard work and perseverance are what we need in order to succeed at our goals, and sometimes that takes prioritization. Sometimes that takes stepping back, taking a short break, looking at all of the variables and everything that we're doing and saying, okay, where am I wasting time? Where do I have time to work on the thing that I want to work on? What am I prioritizing? Because I tell you what, I don't know what I was prioritizing. I wasn't putting a lot of priorities on anything over the last couple of months. But now my priorities are on my family and on my channel with you guys. And I think that that's a good place to have my priorities right now. And that looks like learning coding and continuing to create videos. So I hope that that's a little bit of a motivation for you guys, that you can see it, you can look at it, and you can say, okay, yeah, what am I prioritizing right now? What do I want to be at the forefront of my priorities? And am I giving it any time? Because we don't usually give time very well to things because, I don't know about you, but I'm real good at making excuses about not having enough time or going and doing something that I know is somewhat important, but not as important as the thing I want to do, at least to me. I'll say, I'll wash dishes because dishes have to be done. That's an important thing. It's good to have a clean sink. It's good to not have your house covered in filth. Those are good things. But I'm really mostly doing them to avoid doing something else. So prioritize. And you'll find before long that you have enough time to do your dishes and your priorities. As long as you make sure that they all fit in the schedule. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope that this was helpful to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, we will see you in the next one. For now, this is Nathan Blake signing off for Nathan Blake Games. Remember that games are art, and art is important. And so are you and your priorities. Sayonara.